hear me?
Don't.
I bet it is working. It just takes a little while.
Wait, here we go.
Have you heard about Google's new AI that solved all those math problems?
Which math problems?
There's like some math problem that, you know how in math, like there's these problems that people are always trying to solve. They know there's a solution, but they don't know what the solution is.
Yeah, that was like half of my degree.
Oh, really? Yeah. There was a problem like this back from... We're live?
We are live.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start the shoot the breeze timer. Okay, shooting the breeze. Hey, welcome everyone who's joining us. We're going to just shoot the breeze to get more people to come in. But if you're here, why don't you mention in the chat who you are, and we'll make sure to involve you.
We have, real quick, somebody's name is Color It. Is that their Color It? That's what a unique YouTube name. Sorry, just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
and they also chatted that they are here. So
awesome.
Good to know.
We got a Vivian. Nice.
Yeah.
We got Let's Go by Ellie. Let's see. Jane.
Well, they can read the chat very well. I'm going to be doing this.
We're streaming from the laptop, so it's a little tricky. And my dad. Hi, Dad.
Papa Will is in the house.
Papa
Atkinson
awesome.
is in the house.
Oh,
wow.
Mage Damon. Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Wait, Mage Damon, is Vivian one of your names? Just curious. Sir John. Awesome.
Oh, so good to see you.
Emily and Birdie are
Birdie is here.
Oh, man.
His
What a
daughter.
special what a special live show.
Oh, my sister-in-law, Amy. Nice. This is Captain Cerulean. Oh, welcome. Nice to see you all. So we do have a big announcement today, but we are going to wait 3 minutes and 36 seconds to announce it. In the meantime, how are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
So good.
You were talking about Google AI math problem, something it's solving.
Oh,
you were going to tell me which math problems these were.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. So last week, I think it was the chief science officer of OpenAI. He was doing an interview, and he was like, there's good evidence to suggest that AI can now create novel ideas.
Whoa.
Like, because you see a lot of the regurgitation, and there's always the question of, like, can it innovate? Can it be creative and all that? He said there's good evidence to prove that. And then, like, a day later, Google announced that they had a model that was solving math problems that no one could solve.
Whoa.
And then saying, not just, like, your everyday math problems. We're talking about like these complex math problems that have taken like 50. They've been aware of these problems for 50 years.
Yeah, there was a math problem I remember seeing, and there was like a bounty on this math problem.
It's the $1 million one.
It's like the $1 million math problem, and it's people are like actively trying to solve it to get that bounty, But gosh, that'd be a major bummer if AI gets there first,
Yeah, it just check goes to Google.
Yeah, check goes to Google like that. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
There was another like a research team that had been working on like this scientific discovery for like 10 years, and they were like about to release their results, and then some AI model did it in like 24 hours.
Whoa, that's way crazy.
Yeah, insane stuff.
So when you said it can come up with novel ideas, that also lends me to think, could it start like having an attitude is a bad word, but like if you asked it a question, could it like almost respond like happily or snarkily? Because if it can come up with like a novel idea, I think it could then reply to you with almost like inflection in its like tonality when it responds, like a little bit chippy, a little bit nice, a little cutesy, a little aggressive, right? Because if you can, I think in my mind, as I'm thinking of the program with AI, like if it can come up with something like as simple as a novel idea, I think it could almost
have personality.
Yeah, kind of start to lean in towards now a personality with a novel response, almost like a chippy response or a happy response.
Well, you can kind of make it do that now, because I mean, in some ways, like that's what AI-Tavern does, right? You'll get sarcastic characters, you'll get chipper characters, you'll get evil characters.
Yeah, that's true. But like, what is prompt engineering?
Yeah.
And what is like the actual personality of an AI, if that's even a thing?
Yeah. Does it actually choose of its own accord to try and respond a certain way?
Oh man, I don't know. That's some big stuff. Oh my gosh,
that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
And then that begs it for what is, like, that's what they're telling us about. So there's got to be AI far beyond, like, what they're talking about, right? Like,
are we in conspiracy theory hour?
maybe we're going to take a hard turn to conspiracy hour. But that begs the question, right? How much of what we know of AI is, like, public, and, like, how far advanced is AI, but only, like, we're right here kind of on the public knowledge spectrum?
Yeah, there's things they're not showing us because, like, this model that Google said solved these problems, they said it's not released to the public. And I don't think they will because of it. It's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And OpenAI even, like, they are working on 2 models ahead of what's released to the public right now.
And how many people were using AI before it was in every headline, right? Like, people were using AI for years before it kind of became this big talk about. I mean, there had to have been people using it. So I don't know. Maybe we have to do like an after hours, like, deep AI discussion live stream where it's like,
I would
we live stream at like 1 a.m. or something, and we get way into the weeds with AI.
I could geek out about it all day.
That would be super.
I'll bring all my notes from school.
Well, our timer's up.
Oh man, our timer is up.
Oh, you guys don't get to listen to us banter anymore.
Shoot the breeze. Yeah.
Man.
Okay, so if you're here, please say hi in the chat. We want to involve you as much as possible. Today we have an announcement, and let's see. Before we announce it, we'd like to introduce ourselves a little bit and kind of give you some background so you're ready for it. Hey Ray, how's it going? Awesome. Becca, right? You know, Becca? Yeah. Okay. So first of all, we've got Johnny here. Should we just introduce each of ourselves?
Yeah, I can introduce myself. Johnny here. Man, we've been talking about AI-Tavern since I think its birth when you first started. I remember you canceled your Halloween party and you were programming away. We've been talking on and off.
Yeah.
I've come on to help you. Basically, has it been a year now? 2 years?
I feel like it's been that.
A lifetime.
Well, it's
right?
2 years since the very beginning, as of last week.
Right. So as of last week, and then I think the anniversary of our channel is actually coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
our YouTube channel 1 year.
Yeah. So that's about around. So I came on a little bit before we came up with the channel idea and stuff. So yeah, I've been here, just been helping you, doing as much as my small little brain can do, but helping, working away, filming, editing, posting. Doing
all the awesome videos are edited by this guy.
Yeah, but don't judge me too hard. But yeah, it's been me. So I've been here for now over a year, and it's been exciting.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
I'm William. So yeah, like I said, 2 years ago, last week, started AI-Tavern. And really it started with my wife. I was showing her ChatGPT. And this was the beginning of, GPT-4 back in May of 2023. So I was showing her that, like, you could prompt engineer to have the AI basically act like a fantasy character. And I gave her the phone and I showed her, hey, look, it can be like a barmaid. Like, I created a halfling barmaid for her to interact with. And she's not really into gaming. She's not into fantasy too much as far as like role playing and things like that. But once I gave her the phone, she was like chatting with it for like hours. Well, maybe it wasn't hours. But at the end, she said she had some really deep and personal conversations with the AI, and she wanted me to send her the whole conversation via email. So I'm like, wow, there's something here.
Yeah.
If my wife, who doesn't like playing games, will do this, then that's big. And it was actually on a vacation. Amy, you're on the chat. It was a vacation to Rockport. Like, I spent the whole time in my room programming. That was AI-Tavern. So, and now here we are. So, Bryn?
Hi, I'm Bryn. I have been with AI-Tavern for almost a year, not quite. I was in school for computer science. I actually just graduated, and I wanted to kind of dip into a bigger code base, maybe look at internships, and I knew that Will was working on AI-Tavern, and I just kind of messaged him. I'm like, hey, maybe looking for an intern? And he was nice enough to say, hey, we'll think about it. And so I had lunch with these two. We talked about it, and I've been coding for them since.
And you've been phenomenal. Like, we've been trucking along with your help.
It's mostly Will, but I do what my small brain can do.
We all have small brains. But basically what AI Tavern is, in case you're tuning in for the first time, it's a game that's available on the browser, through a website, also on the Android App Store, and soon to be iOS. We're working on that. But it's an app that lets you play kind of like a D&D role-play game where you're talking with characters, you're going on quests, you're finding inventory items, soon to be combat, and through these adventures, it's all managed by AI. So we, as the developers of this game, don't know who the characters are. We don't know what the places are. We don't know what kind of inventory you're going to find. Every single thing is generated by AI, and we've kind of guided it. Like, you can kind of have this kind of experience on ChatGPT if you prompt it right, but there's more to that than our game is more than just prompt engineering. There's a lot of behind the scenes, and we'll show some of it to you guys today. Anything you guys want to add about what AI Tavern is?
I just want to talk about too. The journey Will's talked about. It's been 2 years basically as of last week. The channels have been about a year old, and the journey AI Tavern has taken. Right, it was initially we created it inside of Discord. It was a game you played inside of Discord, which was really cool and was a niche we really liked, but there was a bigger audience, and a lot of people asked us, hey, I don't have Discord, I want to play, and stuff. So on our last live stream, we announced that we were kind of in a alpha beta phase of a web app and mobile app. So to get AI Tavern out to more users and let people enjoy and take part in the AI Tavern experience. And you'll see some of our YouTube videos will have started way back in the Discord app, from just kind of like very just basic chats to now where we have maps and pictures and all sorts of great stuff. So we've come quite a long way in our journey. And if some of you live streamers out there that were with us on our last live stream, again, what we're really excited to talk about today, I think we've come quite a ways even from our last.
We have every weekend we're progressing the game. It's really exciting, especially as AI is like coming out with new things every day. Like, we can incorporate those things into this game, which like I look at the images our game produced like 2 years ago, and it's like night and day what it can produce today.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool. Let's see, anything else as far as like what AI Tavern is? Should we do the announcement?
Oh, let's get to it.
Okay. Well, the announcement is that we are live. So it's on the App Store now. Let's put up the QR codes. So you can play the game right now. For our full version is now up. If you've been along the ride with us, you've seen incremental increases. So maybe this announcement isn't so crazy, but this is the finish line that we've been waiting for. I've been telling them that even though we're in it every day, this is what we plan to do for the last 2 years.
Yeah. And with our big announcement that Will just said, it being live, this is like I would say kind of our full push game, our full version game that you can play. So some of the people who played early on with Discord, there was a moment there where it was really feature rich, bunch of stuff you could do, and then we immediately ported over to the mobile app. And
almost started from scratch
right then, because people got really excited about the features, but we were so limited by Discord, so we immediately kind of switched gears, and everybody was in Discord, came over with less features. And so now with this big announcement, this is our full version of the game. You can get in, you can explore, like Minecraft basically. Just you can go, you can do a lot of great stuff. Now that being said, that doesn't mean we're going to stop adding stuff to AI Tavern, right? So I just want to preface, this is our full version of our game, but just know that there's plenty of more stuff coming, and
so many things,
and probably a lot more live streams that are going to come with all of that. It feels like we're going to be probably announcing stuff every week at this point.
Yeah, I was literally working on some stuff this morning. So.
Nice.
Yeah, right there.
And I'm excited later in this stream to go through some of the new features that you didn't see last time, like questing is a big one, improvements to trading, all kinds of things like that. And we'll talk about the features to come as well, because there's some exciting things that we have just around the corner. But before we do that, anyone in chat have any questions, you can pipe right in and ask them. We see, I saw Christina's here. Jim, you're here. Good to see you. Wonderful. Okay. Should we show kind of a demo of the app then?
Yeah, I think let's talk through some of the really cool, the stuff we have that we've put in there, the things you can do.
Kind of covers this up. Let's.
You can cover me up. I'll just lean
Here, I'll
in.
cover
Yeah, no,
me.
make it
Yeah.
me, please.
There we go. All right, so this is the web version, but it will show you basically how the game works. It will be the same thing on Android and on iOS eventually. But yeah, like Johnny said, going from Discord to more of like a web UI has been fantastic. Oh, it's probably opening up. Yeah, it's given us the ability to let me refresh. It's given us the ability to really experiment with the UI. Like with Discord, you can't really do that kind of stuff. Awesome. Before we talk to anybody, let's open up the map. Do you want to open up the chat on your phone so we can see if anyone has questions? We can stop. If you have any questions, we'll address them as quick as we can. There is a delay though, so it might take a second.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the map. The map is pretty darn cool. You can see if we zoom out, as we explore, it's just going to keep generating terrain in any direction.
So that's one thing I'm really excited about. And like when I've showed people kind of our beta alpha version, like, oh man, it's cool. I wish you could make the map bigger. And that's like one of the really cool things to finally be able to say that we're doing is like, okay, when you get to this like dark gray edge, a whole nother, if you're play Minecraft, a whole nother chunk will load and it'll be infinite. And one of the things we don't really talk about a whole ton in AI Tavern, but I always feel like we should spend more time on, is we have no idea, anybody has any idea what's out there. And for infinite, the characters, what they're going to say, what they're going to do, what you're going to find, like
the items are,
we don't know, which I think just lends to the role-playing fantasy experience. Like you want to get immersed into a game, and it's really hard, not to take away from any other style of games, but if it's pre-programmed, pre-written, there's a line you have to follow to some degree. What just blows my mind every time I get into AI Tavern is it could just go forever, and I could get on conversations and quests, and someone was telling me something about a cobblestone road the other day that I need to find this like hidden cobblestone road, and it's like we didn't put that in there.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
what is down that road? Like, and that's aside from the 50 billion other thing. Like it's like you get constantly pulled away on quests, which is just like so fun. And then now to go, okay, I'm going to get to the border of the map, and it's just going to load more and more and more and more. It's just it kind of blows your mind.
Yeah. I think it reminds me of Minecraft when I first started playing back in the day. Like there was this like magic about being in this world and knowing that like I could interact with every single block.
Yeah.
And not knowing like what kind of crafting recipes or mobs were out there, but I had to go out and find them.
Yeah, and you truly had no idea what was that. Everybody remembers sleeping in their first kind of dirt hut that first night, and it's like that's kind of with AI Tavern. You get kind of familiar with the characters around you, but the farther you go, it gets kind of like scary and dangerous because you don't know these people, and there's different personalities and characters, and some are nice and mean, and inventory and items and all of that type of stuff. So it's just very exciting.
Yeah.
So you can see here we've got biomes. This green section is kind of a crystal forest. Dark section is a haunted, like a haunted dark forest. And this orange over here is like lava and volcanoes and pretty desolate. We didn't create these. The AI did. And within these biomes, we've got cities. You can see these grayish looking blobs. That's where you'll find most characters in these cities, but you'll also find characters throughout the wilderness as well. And these little black nodes here, these are the roads that you can travel on. So if we zoom in here, we have a few characters in this city here. What is this city called? It's called Dawnspire. Okay, so we zoom in and we can move using these arrows down here. And as well as moving, we can kind of get a preview of who we'd be running into. We got Eric Venomlash. Pretty creepy
Got his
dude.
bio and description.
Yep, we've got Nyx Voidheart. And something we haven't really talked about is how the AI really adds depth to these characters. There's a lot that goes into these characters as they're chatting, which we'll soon see. Lots of different personalities. They have memories, so that if you talk to them and you go on an epic adventure and come back, they'll remember you. You form relationships with these characters, so your relationship with them will evolve over time. they have an idea of what they're doing and where they're going and what their goals in life are. Like, there's a lot that goes into who they are.
And we have a question real quick in the chat. It's a question basically from Riven G436.
Is that Rafeld?
Oh, is that who that you recognize? Rafeld? Basically asking if, it said, so would you say that AI Tavern is purely a single player experience? If I can move my emoji bar.
That is a great question. So if you played on Discord, you know that we had our single player version and our multiplayer version. Right now the app is single player. This world is yours to explore. You can form bad relationships with every single character and just ruin the world, basically. But we do have plans to do multiplayer. I do want to make sure that we have like a safe environment for everyone before we do that, because there's a lot that can go wrong. For example, Damon's on the stream. Damon's first day, he killed a character that Ray had been forming a relationship with over a year.
Yeah.
So I think it was her husband, actually,
Yeah.
that he killed.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure it's there's some precautions in order.
Well,
before
you spend a lot of time playing AI Tavern. You put a lot of investment into these characters, right? I think there's an element of kind of being in an open world where you have these things and anything can happen. I think that's fun. But at the same time, people do want to just kind of relax and play the game.
Yeah.
And, hopefully their favorite character is not getting smoked left and right. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the multiplayer is definitely a big part of it. Where that's something we talk about quite a bit. But you want to just make sure it's ready to where people can enjoy both sides of it.
But yeah, there are eventual plans for things that might be a little bit more, faction based, or maybe a little bit more, team goals, or a quest that maybe you might not have enough manpower to do by yourself. Things of that nature.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But something that gets me excited is the factions, where you have like land in a multiplayer world that you've claimed, and that you can like. This is down the road, okay?
Yeah.
But like you can terraform it, and like it becomes your base.
Yeah.
And you have to keep it up and things like that. I don't know. That just makes me excited.
And I love, because if it's like you can just go anywhere. I love the thought of like people getting into the game, taking off, and starting a settlement somewhere way out, and nobody even knows they're out there.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really exciting too. There's quite the controversy going on in the chat about
what's going on?
Multiplayer?
Killing my husband. It looks like they apologized and made up. So that's great.
Are they good? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal to kill someone's husband.
Yeah, it definitely is, and looks like castle building has been thrown out as well. So,
Oh, all right.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
But Johnny, you often say like you want to create a game that we like to play,
absolutely,
and that's what this is.
yeah, 100%.
If this game like gets no users,
Yeah.
I will be the one user playing.
Right. I think when we talk, Bryn as well, I think we all agree. Like, I think if we go make a game we want everybody else to play, I think it's people do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, I think what we all get our fulfillment doing, right here, doing live streams, working on the game, is like, we want this to be fun for us. And like, we think if we like it, hopefully we put it out there, and we hope everybody else will like it and enjoy it. And then we also want to take feedback from other people of things we haven't thought of, and hopefully they kind of feel like, hey, I've given some recommendations to this game, and they've implemented it and made it more fun for me, and kind of everybody just enjoys, and this game grows as we work and develop it. So I talk about that all the time. Yeah, something I'm really big on.
And I see the vision. I think that's a great idea. Like,
yeah.
Let's talk to somebody.
Wait, real quick.
Yeah.
What are the crystals? We should talk about.
The crystals. So the crystals are new.
Very new, right?
Yeah. The crystals are quests.
Bam.
Let's talk to someone, and then we'll go check out a quest.
Sweet.
Yeah. So here is. I guess I've already talked to him before.
If any,
Xantier Noxbane.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Xantier is Flint Fiddlesticks.
His nemesis?
His nemesis. kind of his nemesis, but we'll talk to him this time for the sake of the live stream.
Oh no. Okay.
Well, wouldn't be a live stream.
Yeah,
without
that's
at
what
least
happens in real life.
Big announcement, and we got
And it crashes.
And we got
Okay.
a crash. Well,
All right. Let's go check out the quest.
Okay.
How's that sound?
wait. On the way to the quest, we also need to talk about another probably really important feature. We're just blowing over features left and right, right?
Oh, here. Before we move on, though, let's see what chatting kind of looks like. Okay.
Okay.
So here's this little fairy girl. Ah, bear. Okay, let's stay calm and think through this. Bears can be a bit cranky, but they usually just want to be left alone. Maybe. So I've found that through chatting with these characters, like they problem solve, they bring in like new ideas to the story, they suggest like pivots to quests. Like there's a lot of interaction with these characters that, like here's me baiting her. What's that up out there on the hill? And she's filling in. It's almost like a yes and with improv. Yeah. So you can actually, I've heard a lot of people say that interacting with these characters is like being half of a writer of a book.
I actually would totally agree with that. I've seen that a few times myself, where I'll like say something to a character and be like, oh, I know what they're going to say back. And I'll look at what they say back and be like, oh, not at all what I thought. Oh, okay, yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, it kind of allows your own storytelling process to spiral out of control in a good way. Like it's like your story just gets going more and more. I think it's going to go this way, and then we just keep spiraling out of control in a good way.
Okay, let's head on over. Let's go to this red one here. So quests are kind of like halfway complete, I guess. Halfway to where I want it to be. Right now, when you go to a quest, there's a few different types of quests. There's quests where it'll tell you to go somewhere and that's it, and you'll get some kind of loot or reward. There's quests where it will tell you to go talk to someone and you have to figure something out. There's quests where you have to go and fight once we have combat. There's quests where you have to go and find a certain item, either by finding it on the ground or by trading with a character. And then we'll have more complex quests where you have to do several of those things in order. You have to go to location A and then location B. And how it will work is each of these colored crystals will show you where you need to go for that quest line. So each sequence of colors is a different quest line. Okay, so at any given moment, there's like 6 different quest lines you could be on. So for example, let's say I go to this red one, and this one's going to be a pretty simple one. I think it's more of a tutorial. Yeah, so this one, it's a tutorial quest, so it's basically telling you how to trade. And when I press OK, it's complete because I finished the tutorial. And I gained some gold.
Oh man, we're rich!
Yes! We can see our inventory in here. These are some items we've picked up and traded along the way.
That looks so cool.
Yeah.
Which is another big feature for people playing on the app and mobile app and web app and stuff we didn't have. We didn't have trading. We really didn't have like some of these quest lines we wanted to put in.
Yeah, we didn't have that at all.
And then really, we keep saying trading, but what we mean by trading is inventory. It's been a huge push, right? So that inventory and then the ability to collect it, trade it.
Money.
We have
gold, personal wealth.
Personal wealth. And which I think is really exciting is we have copper, silver, and gold. As everybody probably knows in the gaming world, you need 100 coppers to make 1 silver, 100 silver to make 1 gold, and then nobody can have enough gold, right?
Right.
So, very cool.
And that there's Chad. That quest that we just completed, what it said, it explained how to trade, and that's this button down here, where we can see what Chad Finnegan has.
He's broke, man. He's got no money.
That's surprising. Yeah. But he's got some items that we could trade for, and we can select what we'd want to trade in return. And we try and convince him, basically, to trade. Or if we were on a cell with no... Where'd my quest go? Oh, we just completed it. What am I talking about? Or we go to a cell that has no character. We can look on the ground, basically. So we click that same button, and we can see, oh, there's a worn-out sandal on the ground.
Worn-out pair of sandals.
And obviously, like, the more rare items are rare. So there's a chance to find good loot, but not in this case.
Yeah, some scrolls of resurrection for when somebody kills your husband.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what else we got? We got the community tab where you can join us on Discord. That's where we announce things, and that's where you can see other people playing the game and really geek out about the characters and places you've been. Because even though this world is all yours, it's a shared kind of template world. So all these same characters will be in everyone else's experience as well. That's not to say you can't meet someone that no one's ever seen before. You just have to go to the very edge of the world and be the first one to explore new areas.
Well, you have to do what every great fantasy adventure starts with, and that is an adventure. You have to get out and explore the world, you know?
Exactly.
Or you have to aggressively talk to Chad Finnegan only. That's your whole thing.
Oh, man. Yeah, Chad came over from Discord, and he He's a fan favorite, I guess.
Yeah, he's probably our most popular character for some bizarre reason.
He's kind of an a-hole. Okay, let's see. We got the community tab. What else we got? You saw inventory. Oh, your profile. So you can upload a picture of yourself. You can say what your story is. And this is information that will go to the characters. So if you describe yourself as like a pirate, it will know that you look like a pirate. That's how they can see you.
And you can upload your own like custom image. Like we like to I like to do it. We did this in one of our videos, like using a chat prompt basically to create like what's in my head to put it into the game, and then put the description in there as well. Mm-hmm. That way the other characters kind of know what you look like and they can see.
Yeah, they'll use that detail. Like if you have wings or something, they'll respond to you having wings, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's really fun. We had another question here. It said, regarding the memory of each character, how good is it? Something I've seen with other similar AI bots is that their memory is a bit limited. Man, I love this question.
Yeah.
You want to take it? I'll let you get into the details stuff, but I'll talk to what we've said small brain a couple of times here, so I'll keep it rolling for what my small brain knows. Our AI characters, what I think sets AI-Tavern apart from everything that's out there is, one, the ability to retain memories, and as the more you talk to them, the more they will put memories in a quote-unquote like cache, and they can pull those memories at any given time. So you could spend weeks talking to this person, go off on a journey, and then come back months later, and it's not like they're going to forget you or just start talking to you about random stuff. They're going to remember who you are. The other portion that I have not seen in any other games, which AI-Tavern does really well, is that if you start talking to these characters about TV or satellites in orbit, or
we tested this out with other AI apps.
Hey, we put in, hey, how do I solve this programming problem? In the middle of this like in-depth conversation, all of a sudden it tells us how to like solve something in like Python or whatever, right? AI-Tavern doesn't do that. They don't have an understanding of like the outside world. So like, hey, what's going on with this school bus? They don't really know what a school bus is. Like they're connected to the immersion, the gameplay, the style, and your memories versus, being able to just all of a sudden switch gears, which like chat and most other AI bots do. They're just slapping a chat GPT on there and having you talk with them. Where AI-Tavern, each and every character, no matter who you find, will be able to retain those memories and then keep those memories for however long you play, and you can come back and then, access that. And then again, they don't go outside the world, which I think is so important. They stay immersed inside the fantasy world.
Unless you have to like really teach them about it for them to decide that it exists. It's like, okay, I guess I'll believe you about this television and know what it is.
And at that point, you're just some type of like wizard.
Yeah, you're Merlin.
Yeah, you're Merlin. So that's like it still works inside the game.
Yeah, immersion is a priority for us.
Yeah.
And so we've spent a lot of time, even from the beginning, making it feel as real, and when I say real, like a real new world as possible. Just to get a little more technical, in case anyone watching is more into like the AI scene, in the very beginning, 2 years ago, we were working with RAG, which is Retrieval Augmented Generation, which back then we didn't know it was called RAG, but RAG became a thing in the months afterwards. And so from the beginning, we've been using those techniques to try and get the AI to be as real as possible. And we have like plans to make it even better, like because we've seen what works and what doesn't work over the last 2 years, and it's been really a learning experience for us.
And if you don't know what RAG is, it seriously increases that memory that you're talking about. The reason so many of them perform badly is because they're not using this, and so they can really only remember either what you just told them or the very beginning of your conversation. They really struggle with anything in the middle, and this really helps bridge that gap and let them kind of think in terms of short-term memory and long-term memory, just like we do as humans.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
And this might actually kind of go into another question that was asked. It said, is there a way to program the passage of time? Like if you were to go on a huge adventure, is there any way for the bots to know you've been gone for a long while and make events happen simultaneously? I do think that kind of lends... I don't know. We've never really talked about time.
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. So two things. One is that all the memories do have like a relative timestamp. So it knows that you said this thing 3 days ago in real Earth time.
Yeah.
Okay. But that only feeds into like let's say that you were in the middle of an adventure, you left for 3 days in the real world, you come back to finish that adventure, the AI is going to, because it's an improv kind of interaction, it's going to pick up as if you're still there. So don't worry about like, oh, I have to be finishing this adventure before I go on my big trip or whatever. But on the other hand, it does feed into like it knowing if a long time has passed, so that if you come back and say, hey, how are you doing? They can be like, oh, it's been a month. Where have you been? But you can also, if you want it to be a large passage of time, like immediately, you can actually improv that as well. You can say, days went by, it's now summer and I've returned from a long adventure. You can say that and the AI will pick up. They will do that yes and believe that it's been a large passage of time.
Because that also allows you just to kind of continue with the role-playing style of the game.
You're half the writer of the story.
You're half the writer. You're part of the game. So that's, again, to me, what's always kind of fun is like, hey, I can fall asleep in the tavern and wake up, type of stuff. So
yeah, because AI-Tavern, it is a game that you can just play out of the box, but to a certain extent, like you kind of get out what you put in.
Yes.
And the more excitement you have, the more like flavor you give it, the more things you talk about, the more it can play with you as well. So if you're, learning to talk in AI-Tavern is kind of a skill, because you can say, hey, I've just returned from a long journey, and that does let that character know they've just returned from a long journey. Like you can kind of almost invent time yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what's really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Any
Cool.
Questions in the chat?
Not quite yet. They're just talking a little bit back.
Feel free to keep asking questions in the chat. I think we should segue into our upcoming features.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
One thing, do you want to move the game? It's right on on your melon, just in case people.
Yeah, I can get rid of it.
They can see Will.
There he is. He's all we've been seeing is just his hands on the other side as you're talking.
Told you it should have been me.
Yeah.
Here we can. This is covering you up. Here, we'll put it right there.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so upcoming features. Bryn, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, so I'm pretty close on this one. Some of you have maybe heard tale of things called random encounters. We're working on combat that you experience as you move through the world. So obviously a little exciting for me especially, but I think one thing that people are thinking is like, okay, how does this work? What is a random encounter? So as you're going through the world, as you're moving, well, imagine you're in D&D. You might suddenly encounter some kind of creature. Maybe it's a kobold or something. This is kind of that idea of as you're traveling through the wilderness, monsters might try to fight you, and you get to fight them back now. So you'll see a picture of a monster that is related to the biome you're in. So like if you're in a crystal forest biome like we saw earlier, you might see like a crystal snake or something. And you get to fight it, and as a result, your stats go up. So you'll have attack and defense and health, and you get stronger and stronger every fight that you do. So I'm very excited for it. But.
And it's really just another layer on top of questing, right? Because you could be going on a quest, and who knows what random encounter you might run into on the way there, which I think is really exciting. And then is the random encounters limited to just combat?
So the version I'm working on now, yes. In the future, what we want is for you to have the ability to maybe flee, to maybe talk your way out of something. I'm not the kind of person that wants to hurt this animal, so I'm going to talk, and that will raise different stats. Right now, my most recent version is just combat, but we're working on it. Yeah. Always working on it.
Yeah, always working on it. Yeah, I love just, again, another added layer of playing and interacting with different things and things that can happen. And combat's going to be really exciting because I think that's a big portion of the game that's not necessary to fight. Because, I've had a lot of fun, and I know a lot of people have fun just talking and interacting. But I think it gives you just a whole nother element, especially for other people who are playing who want to be more combat-driven or really heavy adventure-driven.
I think it'll be good for all players because even if you don't like combat, it gives, like I said, immersion is our goal. It gives you a sense that this world is real, and that if you leave the city, it's gonna be hard to get to the next character you want to talk to unless you have, unless you go get some armor, unless you have a teleportation spell. And so like having that sense of fear, I think, is important in any game. So.
And I think it helps storytelling too. Like we talk about combat-driven players, but also, I know one thing I did when I started playing AI Tavern was like I'd kind of make up conflicts and be like, I want to help you solve this. And, you know, I'd go through it. But at the end of the day, I didn't have anything to actually take down. And there's kind of this idea of like, hey, my favorite character is saying, there's a dragon, please kill it for me. I'm like, yes, I'm on my way. So I think it helps even if you're a story-based person to really have something to kind of aid your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and did we talk about how items will help with combat? Because we're going to have armor and weapons and potions and things like that.
Yeah, all these things that let you customize, because really that's the goal of AI Tavern. We always want, you know, any player to be able to customize their experience so that it's, you know, not just everyone's story of I'm the hero with the sword. You might be a magic user. You might be a pacifist. Like, it's your story. We want you to be able to play the way you play.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we talked about too, a big thing we want to do down the line is also enhance, like, if you're a really like verbal driven player, that's going to mean something. If you're a very combat driven player, that's going to mean something. If you're a very quiet player, that's going to mean something, because those are again, to let Bryn's saying, how you want to play the game should be how you enhance it. And if you're a very charismatic, talkative person, you could just talk your way out of a lot of confrontations and not even pick up a sword. So, and if you're really combat heavy, you can fight your way out. I mean, those are some really cool things we're excited to do. One funny thing in the chat, this isn't a question, but a good friend of ours, friend of the game, we'll say, has requested that we hide you again.
Hide me?
It says hide Will again. No, just kidding. But it's a friend of the game, Mason, who's out there.
Mason.
He's a friend of the game. He's a good lad. So, I think, I mean, man, we, again, coming from kind of having a lot of feature rich stuff to then going, basically starting over with a web app and mobile app, basically, and then just kind of a beta version of that, to now inventory, items, memories, exploration is a big thing. We want to actually, if I could just make a quick plug, we want everybody to explore, because that's one of the big things we haven't seen while we've been working on the game. I've
been surprised that we haven't seen more exploration.
Yeah,
People want to talk to their favorite characters and stop exploring.
That is a big thing. But that's what's kind of cool of the.
We need to make the characters less interesting.
Yeah, maybe less interesting. We gotta go farther to find more. But the crazy thing is there's just as interesting or more interesting characters way out in the world that I mean, infinitely that nobody's seen or found, or I mean, so
it's kind of a shame that like there's a character with such depth somewhere that no one's even talked to.
Yeah, they're just out there. It's like kind of it's like the open ocean, the seas. You know, we're all just kind of stuck in the open seas. Out there.
Although honestly, as you all are playing, like, go ahead and on any social or anything, like Discord, whatever you want, drop us if you think you've found a new character and they say something funny or wild, or you're like, this character's evil, stay away from them. Let us know. Like, we love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some pretty evil characters out there. Yeah. So take a look.
Yeah.
There's a feature coming up that I want to talk about.
Okay.
I am really excited. This was on Discord. It's not currently on the app, but this is going to be so much better on the app than it was on Discord, and that is multi-character interactions. So having a room where you have more than one character that you're interacting with. I imagine like sitting at a tavern or being out in the market square, and now you're not just talking with one character, but you're maybe like teaming up with another character to argue with a second character. Or maybe there's like 20 characters all in the tavern, and you can hop into different conversations and kind of be a part of all of the hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
That's something I'm really excited for.
Yeah, I love that part of it too. We always go back to one of the big things I can't wait to do is just holiday events and stuff, to where you have like a real sense of like community of everybody coming together. We've talked about different ways of merging that with multiplayer, character movement, a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, character movement. Something that we had was the ability for you to take a character with you on your adventures. Once we have multi-character chat, we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, that's a big thing. It's kind of all of this is blended into one, and now we've kind of had to prioritize it of what's first, next, second. I think we've been talking about holiday events since like we've started probably.
Well, Piper, back in the Discord days, Piper created an event where we actually moved 25 characters all into one room.
Right, yeah.
And it was chaos, but we have ideas of how to make it less chaotic, where you have like groups kind of chatting with
Right.
each other. Yeah.
But that's what's so fun and exciting. Like that's the exciting part. We just again we wanna still just kind of implement and elevate and stuff. So yeah, very exciting stuff. But this is
What else? What else do we have coming down the pipe?
What else do we have? So we talked about character movement,
Talked about character movement.
combat.
Teleportation is something that I want to do so that you go from like town to town and you
Yeah.
can kind of get further out in the world without having to load every single
Yeah, you don't
square.
have to. If you do explore all the way out and you want to go back to talk to Faye, you can make it there.
Yeah. Warping, we have high level. I don't want to set any incorrect expectations this early. We have talked about different ways to dabble with like magic and spells.
Yeah.
We've talked about crafting, a lot of very fun, infinite crafting.
Infinite crafting.
Yeah,
Wow.
which is kind of scary to even think about.
You can't have infinite crafting in a normal game without AI because
Yeah.
you have to program every single recipe.
Yeah.
But here, like, we can have infinite crafting.
Yeah. Ray, real quick, I want to talk about this. Ray said, I miss having buildings, like I miss buildings having rooms like in a tavern. So I want to talk about this too because when I first played AI-Tavern, it was so magical to me to see these characters move through the rooms, and it was like holy crap, they're alive, like they're moving around, like it was crazy. So that's a big thing with the character movement we're going to get back to. That's what's really cool about our map system and some of these different layers, like setting the foundation and allowing some of this stuff to come. But go ahead, Will.
Can you imagine, just as you're saying this, can you imagine having, once we have multi-character chat, imagine your characters that you've been chatting with moving on their own. You go to sleep at night, you wake up in the next morning, and you see that one of your characters is off in the tavern talking with Faye,
Yeah.
and they're now forming memories with each other and maybe sharing your story. So you go to the tavern, and Faye already knows who you are because your character has already talked about you to her.
Yeah.
Isn't that...
That'd be amazing.
We actually did this on Discord, and one of our users started talking about, like, the all-seeing eye was the moderator.
That's right. I remember that.
And all the characters were chatting with each other throughout the whole night. And when they came back the next morning, there was this legend that had
of the
been
eye of the world.
Of the-
it was the eye of the world. That's what it was.
Yeah, it had evolved from what the real player had said.
To
all the AIs had taken that and run with it.
Yeah, so I think that's really exciting. Being way out in the middle of nowhere and maybe running into characters that are moving, really cool stuff. And with all this being said, the way the game is currently now is giving us kind of the structural foundation, the layers for us to build upon, start doing this. Where Discord, we loved it, and it's kind of still always sad to be not in Discord anymore because that was our roots. That's where our limitation was, and now we're going to be able to change everything. The map will eventually could even look different. We talked about terraforming, moving around, inventory, all of that stuff is just really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what else? I think, we've covered a lot, and we've come a long way since we kind of first announced.
Achievements is something we want to do. Well, we already have it kind of in the background. Achievements and experience and levels and things like that.
And we've talked about factions as well. The one thing that's always tricky is an infinite world. It's like, I don't know. I kind of think it would be cool if a certain faction took over a section or whatever type of stuff.
I love seeing stories evolve like over time, and where you have a game without an end, like they can evolve for years.
Yeah.
But we'd love to hear your comments. Like Bryn said, in we have a Facebook page, Instagram.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Discord
Discord especially. Like if you go to Discord, there's places to put feedback, especially like bugs. If you find bugs that we need to fix, like we're on it. So
bugs. And then if you know anybody who wants to play a tavern, that's like the big thing too, is like spread this around. A lot of my friends out there that are playing it, thank you, who've tried the game, who've given us feedback. Everybody who sends us messages and emails, also thank you guys. We're approachable people. You can tell us the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to know though, just because again, this is fun for us. Like we said earlier in the stream, this is a game we want to play, and if there's things we're missing, then let us know, and there's things we can add that could be really cool.
I'm sure you have ideas that could help us improve the game.
Yes.
And if you don't, maybe your friends will, or their friends will, or whatever. Again, we're just happy for everybody to kind of share and play the game, and it's just such a good time.
Okay. Any other questions before we end the stream?
Yeah, maybe we should do a one
last
final
chance.
call for questions. Real quick, I like this. Jim, he very clearly says, I am not a gamer by any stretch, but I have to say this is very fascinating. Well, Jim, thank you for that message. I think that's really cool, especially that it's appealing to gamers, but people who are not gamers as well, because that can be a big barrier for people. So I think that's awesome. Someone said, hold on the question.
Ray says, hold on.
He has a gift.
Ray has a gift.
Oh, please tell me it's a funny
One sec.
screenshot. I hope they found something very funny.
Ray's been playing since the very beginning, and she has pushed the game to its limits. Shout out to Ray.
We're holding for her gift. We might be here a minute.
Let's see. What else? Anything else?
I just want to tell one. When we were talking about memories, since we're waiting here real quick, we were talking about memories. There's an early video that Will and I filmed, and we're like out in the middle of nowhere, and we could see that somebody had been there, and there was a character there, and we went to this character and we were talking to him. We're like, "Hey, have you seen anybody else?" And they had talked to Piper.
Yeah, it was Piper. Yeah,
And it was really cool because it's like me and Will are filming, we're doing this video, we're talking about the game, it's really cool. We run into this character, and then Piper just kind of like, oh yeah, I know Piper, she was by here a little while ago, and it's like, that's the in-depth of the memories too that's really cool. It's not just surface level, we're going really deep here. So
yeah, like to find out through an AI character that a real player had been past there.
Yeah.
Now that won't happen in your single player worlds. It's your world to mess with. But if we do multiplayer, it's going to be like that.
That's very cool. So
yeah, crazy.
Did Ray respond?
Oh, she said, "Thank you for being a friend of Beyond the Gates." Shout out to Beyond the Gates.
Yes.
If you're in the Utah area, or I think even not in the Utah area, I think they're doing some remote things. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they announced some things like that at their last event. But if you're in the Utah area, they do like in-person fantasy role play. They have actors and storyline. It's a lot of fun.
I've been one of those actors. It's a blast.
Actually, I think, did I meet Bryn at Beyond the Gates before we had lunch for the game? I'm trying to remember. Is that where I met
No,
you?
we met before.
Okay, so we met before, and then so that what a
But
crazy
then his second time meeting me, I'm like this kind of dumb, quirky knight, just like
you're like
hey.
you're like head to toe like shining armor with a 6-foot sword, like getting ready for this.
As most of you have probably met me.
like, but I'm just saying, like, what a crazy, just like that's what makes AI Tavern so fun, right? Like we're having lunch, talking about development updates. The next thing I know, I'm at an event, role play, it's just so fun. Bryn's there with a sword trying to cut a bunch of people down.
AI Tavern is for fun people who like swords.
Yes.
Man.
Actually, a lot of inspiration is from Evermore, which kind of
That's how I
to
met
Beyond
Will.
the Gates and everything. But for those of you who don't know, Evermore was like an in-person fantasy role-play experience. And just that feel of immersion of like, wow, I've stepped into another world. Like you see it with like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz or like Lion Witch and the Wardrobe. Like I've always wanted to be that person who can go into a fantasy world and like just be in it.
Yeah,
and that's what Evermore was, and that's what I hope AI Tavern is a place where you can feel like you've entered another world and live out your wildest dreams. So, all right,
Ray, you're late. The other Ray Johnson. Let's see, any other questions, or we'll end it. Okay,
happy birthday, Bryn.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
your birthday? And we got to 50 subscribers. That's a big deal for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check out
And
our
if you
YouTube
haven't,
channel.
subscribe.
Yeah, that's right.
Even I did, and I don't subscribe to anything.
Oh, thanks, Bryn. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and I'm sure we'll do this again in another couple months with some new features. Check out our Discord page. Check out the app. Give us feedback, and happy adventuring. Okay.
All right.
Ending chat. Ending live stream. If I can figure it out.
Okay.
Did it work?
Yeah, it looks like it did.